Hello YouTubers, Tommy here again from Overland Transportation System with the fourth installment of building my shelf layout. This video is not going to be no big whoop. It's not a whole lot different than the first couple. I don't have a tripod, so I can't show you any of the actual building. I can just show you what has been built and how I've done it. And really this video is no different than the first couple where I explain my building technique for this. But I'll just go over the next three modules on the long wall. I'll turn the camera around.
Everybody,
Here we go.
Here we go. The only thing that I've done on this modules is I have built three 48-inch long by 20-inch wide modules. I've connected them together with 5/8 bolts, nuts, and washers. I've continued to drill 3 holes through the center just to run the wires. I've reinforced the corners with 2x4s to strengthen up the whole framework. The framework again is 1x3s, and I've used the shelf-made wall bracket system, 20 inches wide, and I've just connected 3 48-inch modules end to end, and it takes me all the way from this angled window to that angled window. 3 48s did it. The only thing that I did a little different on these than the first two was my plywood. When I made this module in the one last video, I explained that I had a lot of overhang because of I was only able to support half the module, so I built the 2x4 leg, sandwiched it by the 1x3s, and what I chose to do here, and I'm answering for it now, is this here is a 6'8". So I made one piece of plywood decking. What I had been doing was going across my 4x8 sheet of plywood, 20 inches wide, and I was able to just run those 4x8s all the way down whatever I was building, which really I needed to do on this one, being there's 3 4x8 or 3 48 inchers. But when I cut this 6x8, 6'8", sorry, out of one piece, that changed all my plywood measurements, and so I was able to only run one piece full 20 inches wide by 48, and then I had to start piecing stuff along the way. Now in hindsight, of course I did this one last. If I had done this one first, or I had to reconsider things, perhaps what I should have done was make 3 plywood decks 20 inches wide by 48 long and pieced this 6-footer. But I chose to do the 6-footer in one piece, and I ended up now having to piece this long one. So what I've had to do here, a little different than the others, is where I had to piece it, I reinforced across with a 2x4 so that the small piece would be self-supporting. And I've had to do that twice. I would have only had to do it once on this one had I ran the full 48s here. So what I'm going to do now is shut this camera off. I'm just going to lay the plywoods on top, just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, and we'll wrap this video up. This is going to be a real short one, and then I'll explain what I'm faced with the corners. Alrighty, I'll be back in a second. Okay, we're back. So what I've done here now is I've put the I keep pulling the 4x8, the 148-inch by 20-inch piece of plywood decking on the layout, and I've just stacked these two pieces, making use of the most I could get out of what was left of my plywood. So I'm just going to slide this across, holding the camera in one hand, and show you what I was describing as far as having to piece things together. Okay, so where this one ends up, I've put a 2x4 to not only support the edge, but give me a nice wide piece of wood to drill my seam, rather than try to run that across a 1x3. Okay, and here is the next little piece that now fits in to make the length of the next 48-inch module. And what I did, just to keep things so I didn't get screwed up, I did number them, and on this seam I marked it to where I knew what went where. All right, so this is the end of the second module. Okay, the decking's on top, and let's see here, and try not to make you sick here, spin you all around. This one here is the next piece of decking, and again I have a 2x4 halving this piece, and I have a 12¼ inch piece left here to finish off this whole run. So that will take care of that. I'll be screwing it down just like I've done in the previous video, and I'll get a scrap piece of 1x3, and I'll kind of give you an idea of what I have in mind to join these three walls together. Yeah, let me get a piece here. Okay, just going to hold this out. Let me switch hands with my camera. Actually, let me come down the other end. Okay, so these two corner pieces, as I'm calling them, they're basically mirror image. This wall here is basically a long bay-shaped window, bay window of windows. And so I ran this on the wall all the way around. And then when I come to this piece here, what I'm going to wind up doing is, rather than play a bunch of angles, I'm just going to run a module that will go straight in. The angle will be at the back, and I'll probably put a little corner piece right here for the curve, just to make sure that I've got enough footprint for my trackage. And they'll probably basically be mirror images pretty much of each other, and that will be the next installment, will be those corners. So I'm just going to wrap this one up for now. The next time you see the video, it may be at the tail end of this, it may be with the next one. I'll just show where I screwed this deck down. No big deal. And we'll move on. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. Okay, Tommy back with, just wanted to give an overview of how I do deck these modules for those who may have tuned into this video and have not seen the previous ones. As I said, these modules are 48 inches long by 20 inches wide. So I have a cross brace going at 24 inches, split into 48, and I have the 2x4s in the corners for the reinforcement. So what I've done is I've measured in 1.5 inches each direction, coming in this way and this way, so this screw can catch a 2x4 in the corner. And then I just give a rough estimate of my 24-inch. I don't know how the light is here. With 24 inches, I basically go thereabouts 6, 12, and 18. And I put screws along the edge. And again, as I've showed in the previous video, just for a quick
measurement. I've made this little pattern out of 3 pieces of 1x3, and I just slide it along with a pencil, and that gives me my line for how far in I can go. And I just split that difference to go down into my 1x3s, and going across ways, it's 20 inches wide, so I just go 7, 13, and basically 18, and that there gives me across even out about every 6 inches thereabouts. That's how I go down. I use this countersink bit to countersink my holes. I go with an 1/8 inch drill bit to make my holes. I countersink them with this, and I use the 1 5/8 hex head, Torx head, hex head, whatever you like to call them, screws to deck this down. And as you can see, the 5/8 bolts holding the 2 modules together. And as I showed in the previous videos, I label on the ends each module, so if I ever have to take it apart, I started with A on the other end, and the next brace is AB, on the other side is AB to BC to CD, and on around. So I guess at this point I will wrap this one up now, and we'll go on to the next video showing the corner pieces. Alrighty, we'll catch you later.